Yeah, so good evening, everyone. This is the fourth talk of our astronomical paradoxes series. We already had three talks, and we began our journey from the 10th of this month. So, this talk is based on the GZK paradox. So, the name of the today's speaker is Vikram, and he's from BSMS 2020 batch of ISET Tirupati. So if you guys have any kind of doubts, then you can just type it in the chat box, or if you are comfortable, then later on you can ask towards the end by unmuting also. So over to you, Vikram.
Okay, I'm starting. All right.
Yes.
Uh, I'll tell you. The First of all, we'll start with the meaning of a paradox. The paradox is a kind of a problem. In simple words, it can have a solution or not. Sometimes a paradox, it's against some kind of observed data or something. Okay. Uh, and the thing about paradoxes is that a single person cannot find a reasonable solution to that. It requires multiple solutions. In this case, for example, we had Olbers paradox for last talk, and there were multiple solutions to that paradox. So, I'm starting. Okay. Uh, so I will give a talk on this GZK limit, which the cosmic ray paradox is based. And this paradox is it's due to the difference between observational data and some theoretical calculations. Difference. Okay. First of all, we'll start with cosmic microwave background radiation. All of you must have heard of the Big Bang radiation, Big Bang theory, right? It led to the creation of the universe. Okay, when the universe started with the Big Bang, there was high temperature. After some time, this temperature, cooled down, and planets and other celestial bodies were formed. But the radiation from the Big Bang still exists. It's just we cannot, measure it normally. You need some kind of special satellites and all for that. In 2003, the WMAP satellite, captured a pic of the early universe based on this CMB data. I'll show you the pic. That's the pic. That's the early universe. When it was created, that's the radiation. The thing which you see in red is the radiation from the background, from the not the background, the Big Bang thing. Okay. I'll go to cosmic rays. Cosmic rays. Cosmic rays are they originate from outside of our solar system. They are mainly high energy particles. Most of the cosmic rays are found to be protons and atomic nuclei without their electronic shells. They were discovered by Victor Hess. He won the Nobel Prize for discovering the cosmic rays. He was awarded the new Nobel Prize in 1939. Um, and these cosmic rays are particularly harmful for the life on Earth. When they interact with life on Earth, they kind of cause ultraviolet thing, the cancer and all. And there are two types of cosmic rays: galactic and solar energetic. The galactic thing, the solar cosmic rays, they originate from outside of our solar system, and the solar energetic ones, they kind of originate from inside our solar system. But there aren't much solar energy cosmic rays. We haven't found evidences for that. Hello, I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. There was too much silence now. That's why. Cosmic. Okay. When these cosmic rays, interact with the photons of the cosmic microwave background radiation, they kind of produce particles like mesons, namely pi mesons, pions and all. So these pions, they are responsible for calculating the GZK limit. Uh, and this pion production process continues till there is a threshold energy below which the above which it's opposite of everything. Above this threshold energy, you cannot have pi mesons created, pions created. And the cosmic rays, they normally consist of photons. So when they interact with the protons from the cosmic microwave background radiation, there's a process called delta resonance. It occurs, and we get pi mesons created and all. Okay, we'll go to GZK limit. This limit was calculated by three scientists: Kenneth Grayson, Vadim Kuzmin, and Georgy Zadzepin. Okay, I'm not comfortable, with the names now. I can spell them. Okay, it was they used the special theory of relativity and particle physics. You know, and the main thing about this thing is like they use another theory called doubly special theory of relativity. It's way too complex to discuss here. And they they theoretically, they calculated that thing theoretically, and the limit, the limit for the cosmic rays coming from outside the solar and system was found to be all around about 8 joules or 5 into 10 raised to 19 electron volts. you know that's the upper limit. This GZK limit says that we cannot have cosmic energies above having energy above this 8 joules. But the cosmic ray paradox is due to the fact that we have found evidences of cosmic rays which possessed 50 joules of energies, and the latest one was found in 2008 or something. It was found at Japan, at an observatory in Japan. Okay, I'll tell you about the cosmic ray paradox. Uh, it tells us that there have been instances, observed data where this cosmic rays above this limit, GZK limit, have been found. They say that these cosmic rays have been found to be originating from outside the solar system as well as inside the solar system. Uh, and the fact is that we don't have much stars or anything can produce these cosmic rays inside the solar system. That's why it's called a paradox. And the thing is, when the cosmic rays have energy above this limit, GZK limit, the pions are not produced. The interaction between photons of the CMB and the electromagnetic wave, electromagnetic radiation of the cosmic rays, they interact to give pions, right? Delta through delta resonance channels. Okay, the pions are not produced. So I'll tell you the instances where this limit was found to be invalid. The- these were the two instances where the cosmic ray paradox was found to be true. Like OMG particle, we have the OMG particle. It was discovered in uh, USA on 15th October. Till date, it was found to have an energy of about 39 electron volt, no, not electron volt, joules. That was the highest energy cosmic ray which was found. This baffled the scientists. The three scientists, right? GZK limit, who computed the GZK limit, they had postulated and said that this was a rule. So like this OMG particle broke the rules of the GZK limit. And again they found a there was an experiment conducted, AGASA, Agasa they call it. It was a collaboration between universities and observatories in Mexico, USA, and Japan. They, over the period of 4 to 5 months, they found out like 50 to 60 ultra high energy cosmic rays having the energy above 8 electron volt, no, not electron volt, joules. So like they said that this limit was found to be invalid. And the solution to the GZK paradox is that the GZK limit is a theoretical limit. We can have observational data which can counter this limit. And some scientists, they were against this data, so they said that this experiments which were conducted at the observatories, they might have faulty equipment. They might not have some kind of proper alignment and all. And the thing is, they even said that the interpretation was incorrect. And another thing is, when these we have cosmic rays, right? When they travel through space, they just lose some of their energy. So they'll say that it's impossible for the energies coming from distant sources, far apart from our solar system, to have such high energies. So they just said that this might come from within our solar system. But that's not a valid point. And we have heavier nuclei, the nuclei of elements which are not found in our earth and the atmosphere. So this heavier nuclei, they could have higher energies, and they could break this limit. But all of these you know solution for this GZK paradox are found to be invalid. So like that's it. And, okay, I'm done with this. Hello.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Vikram. So, does anyone have any questions to ask him? You can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat box. Okay, so if anyone doesn't have any doubts, then I think we can conclude with the session. Thank you so much, Vikram. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.